It was here that I was raised. I feel as if I haven't been back in ages. But it hasn't truly been so very long. They say home is where the heart is. But all I feel is... loneliness?
Oh, spare me your sickly sweet nostalgia. I mean, we're going to kill you anyway, so...
You're the one who slew Olivia!
I bid you, Victoria, unleash your full power.
I wouldn't have it any other way. The kid gloves are coming right off!
Why did you kill Olivia?
Why? Let me think. I suppose you could chalk it up to me and my butterfingers.
You!
Don't look at me like that. I mean, a crystal vestal? Ha! You're no match for me. And that goes for those fools you're with, too. Murder! You stumpy little brat! Stumpy little... Did you hear that, Victor?
Dia! How dare you hurl such heinous language at Victoria! I care not if you are the Grand Marshal's daughter. I'll not rest until you lie dead at Victoria's feet!
Fine. Then I'll not rest until that foul-mouthed girl falls head over heels for me!
I'll have you know I'm in top form today. Now you'll see just how helpless you are before me. Go ahead and try and escape. I'm going to toy with you like a cat before...
Ah!
Not talking so big now? I better say your prayers. Victor!
Alas, you have grown more unstable than I had feared. We must seek treatment at...
Hey, wait!
Where did they go?
Victor spoke of getting treatment. The closest place around here for that would be... the room to the right!
What?
Look!
What is that?
Silence, if you please. She would likely perish if we were to disturb her now.
Victor Escort? What is the meaning of this? Who are...
Allow me to tell you a story, if I may.
In other words, you're stalling for time. Time enough to replenish Victoria's power.
No, that is not my intention. This treatment is merely a bid to save her life. Now, about that story. In truth, it is a tale of the not-too-distant past. Once upon a time, in a place not of this land, there was an orphan child suffering an incurable disease. Her name was Victoria. Abandoned by physicians and all around her, she simply waited upon her inevitable demise, all the while gasping in pain and despair. But hearing her voiceless pleas, the Lord Marshal took her in his arms and brought her back to Eternia.
My father did that?
Were it not for his lordship, her fragile life would have soon been snuffed out. I am sure you are well aware, Adia, but science and medicine in our lands have advanced greatly with the use of white magic. I was pulled from my studies on the Earth Crystal to treat her. And yet my treatments were still experimental, incomplete. She survived, but ill effects linger. Side effects graver still than her original condition. Fits like that you witness strike periodically, and their violent turns of mood soon stripped her of any semblance of self. Each time her tiny form is racked with pain, I ask myself, knowing the result, would I still have intervened as I did? But ever is my answer the same. As long as I draw breath, I will see that she does too. No matter how she suffers, I'll not allow her to die. She is both my crime and my redemption. My ego, my joy. I dedicate my entirety to her, and know no greater pleasure.
What nonsense. I mean, really, Victor. That was so boring and really long, too.
Forgive me, Victoria. How do you fare now?
Back to my old self. But I don't think I could take another one of those fits. Now, let's take care of these fools once and for all. To think you'd just stand around twiddling your thumbs when you had a second chance to finish? But that just proves you're the fools I knew you were. Victoria! Don't blame me. You're the ones who just dug their own graves. I wish you'd all drop dead.
Victoria!
Victoria!
I am in your debt. You grant me the gift of death. Sweet.
Hail, nescient children of man.
Who's there?
A petulant daughter's act of rebellion against the father who neglected her.
What?
The naive Vestal sense of justice as dictated by others, unquestioned as it is unflinching. An orphaned existence, ignorant of himself and alone in this world. Has playing as the trusty friend filled your hollow soul, boy?
Show your...
Not but children, all of you.
What?
I am done here. I leave the rest to you, Alternus Dim.
Your cooperation is much appreciated.
Cooperation? No. It is simply a matter of friendly concern. My interest lies in the Templars... the Grand Marshal's daughter. You may cast the remaining 3 into the dungeon, if you...
Yes, my lord.
The two newest members of the Council of Six have perished at the hands of the Vestal. 'Tis such a pity. I never had the chance to meet them.
So Victor and Victoria have met their end?
Yes, Lord Marshal.
A tragic end to tragic lives.
Indeed. But the Vestal and her fellow conspirators have been captured.
Though the toll was heavy, we have them at last.
No, this was not my doing. It was his.
I see.
There was one more matter, Lord Marshal. Your daughter, Idia, is in her room.
And?
I simply thought you'd wish to know.
Is this my room? Where is everybody?
No, leave us. I simply wish to...
Father. You never learned to knock first, no matter how many times I asked.
It seems like ages.
What have you done with my friends? Where have you taken them?
Your fellow conspirators are held in the dungeon.
The dungeon? I'd feared that. So they yet live?
As for the Wind Vestal...
Agnes, what will you do with her? You'll bring ruin upon Eternia if you harm a hair on her head.
You speak of ruin. It is you and your conspirators who nearly brought ruin upon this land. Crystalism is a cult, a tool for deceiving the masses. We can trust them with the crystals no longer. The Wind Vestal shall never again see the light of day. And should she persist with her uncooperative attitude...
Then it's as I feared. You'll have her executed, though she was merely caught in a web spun of your selfish ideals.
Selfish, you say?
Well, they are, aren't they? You send big men to chase down and capture one little girl. You wage war far and wide. You ravage nature. You bring suffering upon innocents. Are those your ideals, Father? What is it you're trying to do? I don't understand.
I did not raise you to be such a shallow little fool.
Father, why do you say such things?
The Earth Crystal is now the last of the crystals here upon Luxendark to retain its normal state. All who seek to awaken the crystal, whether the Vestal or my own flesh and blood, shall face the wrath of my blade! You shall remain here whilst you regain your senses.
And just how long am I to be your prisoner?
Until you realize the error of your ways! Redouble the guard. My daughter poses a graver threat than you might think.
It's as I feared. Father does not understand.
Lord DeRosso, Your Grace, what brings you here? It has been 15 years since you last ventured forth.
15, you say? It brings me joy to see what a fine Grand Marshal you have become. For an immortal such as I, 15 years seems but a fleeting moment in time. Do you recall that day? It was dreadfully cold by your reckoning, though just the sort of weather in which I delight. Upon ceding the head counselor's seat to you, I retired to my castle and partook of a goblet of steaming wine. And now 15 years have passed since you rid yourself of me by naming me Archduke. But I ask you, are you content? You seized the Earth Crystal and laid waste to the places sacred to the Orthodoxy. And you brought the crystals under the dominion of man, exploiting them to build your ideal society. All great deeds we failed to accomplish. You should be proud.
I did it not for pride.
I would have you accept my words as true, for there is no veiled reproach therein. Indeed, you have acted most valiantly, unlike we who have long done naught but watch from the shadows. And yet, you have been too hasty, brave the Templar. I fear I do not share your urgency, for my life has spanned 2,400 years. But I understand the reasoning therein, and it is from such understanding that I say you have been too hasty.
Though 15 years have passed, you have changed not one bit. However, if I might respond...
Father just doesn't understand. Right. All ready. It's quite a way to the dungeon, but I'll manage.
Forgive me, Lord Marshal. Is Edea here with you?
No, she is not. She was supposed to be confined to her chambers.
Yes, Lord Marshal, she was. But she suddenly disappeared.
What's this? We're not the sentries vigilant?
They claim never to have stepped from their post. Her chamber door was never opened.
Then how could she have?
Her father's daughter indeed. She acts from the same sentiments, those sentiments that you once held for the Crystal Orthodoxy.
How could you know that? Have you not been away from this land these 15 years?
Was it not you who drove me to exile? Well, be that, but to one such as I, you and your daughter are one and the same. Passionate, stubborn, not even 100 years old. So it is I can understand what both father and daughter are thinking. Simply, you ought try speaking with her, and listening too. Your time for such opportunities grows short. Crystalism, anti-crystalism. The quarrel between you and your daughter is but a proxy for that clash of ideas. Open your heart before it is too late. The very future of this world hangs in the balance.
You truly have not changed, have you?
Is that so? Well, you must forgive me. But lest you forget, it was you who appointed me Archduke.
I know the dungeon key is around here somewhere. Found it! Now to free everyone. Are you all right, Ring-a-Bell?
Why wouldn't I be? I mean, I knew you'd come. And, well, here... You're my savior, my goddess. Let me thank you with a big kiss.
Ring-a-Bell, are you coming or not?
Of course.
Thanks, Adia.
You're quite welcome. After all, I was raised within Central Command's walls. I know
Were you able to...
Huh? What?
You have family you can talk to.
You would forgive my father? Grand Marshal, you've seen how much Agnes has suffered.
True enough, but...
You need not worry about me. We need...
Alright.
Agnes.
I am, now that you're here, Adia.
Me?
Well, the Eternian forces do. I feared they'd have some unspeakable...
You needn't worry about that. My father is not so draconian as that.
At least no harm has come to you.
I'd like to thank you too, Adia. You saved me.
Eri, do you think you could have carried this key around?
It does look really heavy. I'd rather not think about lugging that about.
There's nothing to worry about now that I'm here. Well, I better lead the way. With your
Now hold on. My sense of direction...
Isn't that simply a matter of having Aryan
Well, that... If you say...
Now, if we can get through here, then... It won't open.
Are you sure?
I don't understand.
Little Edea, in a bit of a bind?
Who's there? Sage? Is that you? What are you...
What am I doing here? I could ask. As for me, I'm right where I belong.
Right where you...
Yes, indeed. You see, I'm a founding member of the council that preceded the Duchy of Eternia. And that would make me your enemy.
I don't understand.
I've been sequestered in Yuliana Woods ever since that Templar Brave Lee seized power. But the fact remains, I still count among the...
You were acquainted with my father? Then you must... Why didn't you say so, you miserable old lech?
I saw little need, being that I was in seclusion and...
This cannot be. You are a trusted friend to us. A teacher-like figure who... And to now hear you say you serve Eternia? The people who killed the Earth Vessel. I don't understand.
Who indeed? I am but an outsider.
What?
An old friend has risen from a long slumber, so I came to see him, while I...
A warning?
Then you yet serve the Duchy's forces?
You are not entirely wrong there. This world is not so clean or pleasant as you may I suspect your journey this far has... Malice is not the only enemy. With action comes consequence. The joy of some to decide one way is to abandon the... Knowing this, will you continue?
Nothing could stop me.
You mean...
Right. Us.
Is that so? Have the courage to think and act on your own.
That. Have the courage to disobey.
Well now, you do...
Say...
Step...
Sage?
Know that ever shall I be watching over...